Hello and welcome to my video. Today I want to show you how I can transform a bass that is not well recorded, I must say, but it is the track that I have to deal with in my mix. So let's dive into Logic and I'll show you what plugins I used to make this bass track sound amazing, even if the raw track is so so. My name is Sylvain Rochon from HomeStudioLogic.com, and I'm here to help you achieve great sounding mix. Let's dive into Logic. All right, so this is a song that I wrote a long time ago, and this piece has been recorded 5 years ago. And the bass track that I recorded was with my bass, but directly into the audio interface, which was not the one that I'm using today. The one that I'm using today is a UAD Twin X, and as you probably know, I've got the UAD console, and when I record my bass now, I go through compressor and a bass amp before it gets to Logic. So it sounds a lot better. But this track was recorded directly, the bass, into the audio interface. I won't say which one I had because it doesn't really matter. I just know that it sounds eh. So let's listen to this bass track as it is right now, solo. Now, let me put the rest of the band so you can hear it in context. This is actually the static mix. Yes, I did do the mix 5 years ago, and I got it out this week and I listened to it and I saw the plugins that I use and I said, what the hell did I do? Anyways, it was at my beginning of my journey, so I'm not worried about that. Now I'm more experienced. So let's listen to it in the context of the band. One thing that I want you to notice that the track actually sounds like the bass sounds, if we listen to it again. Okay, I'm gonna go to the solo where it. There's a lot of spikes on. I was playing with my fingers and there's a lot of boom, boom spikes. So this is what I did. So I started my chain with using the SSL 4000 from UAD. Um, I'm using the compressor on it. Very aggressive. I'm 5-1, and threshold is around 12, I would say, minus 12. The release, I said the release slow because of, I feel like the strings were not in top shape on my bass. And it feels like very cheap, like tuck, 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 tuck. So I'm trying to give it some more some more woomph, if you want, some more. I want the strings to sound a little bit longer, so that's why I've set my release time to be slower, and I set a fast attack because the transients on this track to me are too much, and I don't know. I didn't like that, and I think you're gonna hear it's subtle with the SSL preamp, but we can still feel a difference. So let's turn it on, and I'm using the EQ. On the EQ, I'm boosting around 1.5K to hear the higher strings, and I'm also I'm lowering down the 200 hertz muddiness, and I'm actually boosting around 60 hertz here quite a lot, I must say, because it's missing that woof, that bottom end to my ears. So turning it on. Off. Back on. So it helps, but to my ears and my taste, it's not enough. So I've decided to add an 1176 compressor. The input is very, very high and the output is low. I'm still at 4 to 1, but the attack is fast, and look at the release. I'm giving it the slowest release this plugin can give me. And I think it makes a great difference. So I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to turn on the 1176 so you can hear the difference. Even let's put it in solo. Can you hear the difference? So let's put it in context with the rest of the band. I must say that, just a little side note, I've got nothing on the drums. There's nothing on it. I've got no compressors. I've got nothing. This is the raw tracks. I think it sounds pretty good. Now, what I decided to do after is to add some saturation. With Logic, we have that Fat FX, which is a multi effects plugin, but I'm using the bandpass is there, but technically it's not doing anything because it's set from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. It was on when I put it on, and I left it like that. I'm using the saturation. I've got a saturation set at 72.1%, and I've got nothing else on this plugin. And let's hear what it's doing for me. I'm gonna turn it on. Let's put it in solo so you can definitely hear what it's doing. It's giving me a little bit more bottom end. back on. Off. It's subtle, but it gives me just a tiny bit more what I'm looking for. You might feel different. You might say this sounds bad, but for me, this is coming along. Next up, I used the pedal board from Logic, and I decided to put a bit of what they call the vibe. Give some sort of a chorusy sound to the bass. It gives it some color. So let's listen to it without it, and then I'll turn it on, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Now let's put it in context with the rest of the band. You can definitely hear that this bass is coming alive, even if the raw track sounds like a Amazon special bass, which is not. It's just that my strings are, at that time, were done, and I didn't use any preamp, so that doesn't help. Then I wanted to give my bass some color. There's 2 plugins that I added to my chain. Just remember that I did not use any EQ, outboard EQ. I've got one in the SSL right now that I've set up. I might feel later on in the mix that I might have to turn back down that 200 hertz frequency, but I'm not there yet. Normally, I don't start with the bass. I start with the drums, then I go to the bass, then I go to the other instruments. But for the sake of argument and the sake of this video, I wanted to show you how I can transform a poor sounding bass into something that sounds very decent. I decided to add the Fairchild 670 compressor. Why? Because, again, because of the spike that I'm doing while I'm hitting my strings with my fingers. Remember, I'm not a bass player, I'm a drummer, but I can play bass. A bass player will not hit the strings. Some hits would be hard and some hits would be soft, but I'm doing it because it's not my instrument and I don't practice that much. I record my own tracks. That's what I do. So I decided to add this compressor to add some more color. I like the color that this compressor is bringing to the project and to this track, and you'll hear it too. So let's press play. Let me solo that bass again so you can hear it. I'm going to turn it on. Off. Okay, let's put it in the context with the rest of the band. can see that the threshold is quite high. Um, but I'm only getting a reduction, not even 3 dB, so it's not that bad. But then again, I like the color that this is bringing. It's giving me just a tiny bit more bottom end again. Now, the last one is a plugin that I adore. It's the UAD A-Type Multi-Band Dynamic Enhancer. This plugin, go read about it on the web. I'm telling you, yes, it's pricey, but you will definitely hear the difference. This gives color to bass, drums, vocals, technically anything you want. In some application, you can even get some stereo width. It's amazing. The purpose of this video is not to talk about the A-Type multi-band dynamic enhancer of UAD. So, back to the bass. Let's press play and I'll turn it on. It's on now. Off. Do you hear how this A-Type plugin is actually giving us the feeling like if my bass is plugged into an MPEG amp, well tuned, well adjusted, and we're recording it like this. It goes from being a dull bass to a live bass. It actually, let's put it that way. Turn it off. My dull strings and then we're changing them, and now they're changed. Do you hear that? It's incredible, eh? So that's what I did with my bass so far. That's what I have. It's subtle movements, but I think that this change right now is helping my very, very, very dull bass track sounding more professional. Do you agree? So let's hear it again. And let's put it in context right here where the chorus is. All right, so if you like content like this, I'm going to be posting some videos every week and hope that any information that I would be providing you guys will help someone to have a better mix. If you have any questions, you can send me a message down below or just simply go on my website, subscribe to my website, get on my email list, and you can email me directly from my website or leave me a message down here below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel and you can ring that bell, get notified when I have a new video coming out. And it will be my pleasure to make sure that you get the next videos. Until then, Have a great one, and we'll see you later. Thank you.